Hello out there, this is Wakengel2K1 coming at you with a review of MB12, Master Builder Athena. This comes to me from fanshobby.com, which is where I placed it under pre-order a few months ago. This is a not Minerva. Minerva's kind of special. In the G1 era, she was the Headmaster Junior that was a repaint of Nightbeat. And that made her, technically speaking, the first official female Transformer to get a real toy. I know there's a lot of asterisks there, like, I believe, like, the first female character, you had the first female character to get an original mold, an Air Razor. You have the first female character to get a toy that was actually meant to be female from the design phase in Black Arachnia. You get I think technically one of the Transformers, like Cilia, the one that turned into a monster squid thing, was retconned to be female afterwards, and so her toy came out first, so technically she's female. Although, like, when the toy was made, they didn't have female in her biography. But yeah, like Minerva, technically speaking, at the time it came out, it was the first female character to get a real toy, even if it was a repaint of a male toy. And Hasbro has never made another one, despite how they have been mining some really obscure stuff to make toys in the modern era. They've never made a new Athena. When they made a new Nightbeat a few years ago, it didn't get an Athena repaint. When they brought back the whole Headmaster gimmick with the Titans Returns figures, they didn't make a new Minerva there either. Like, there have been so many opportunities for us to get a Minerva, and this is us finally getting a Minerva third party because Hasbro still hasn't made it. So let's, I'm talking while the box is on display, but let's take a look at the other side. So you get a nice glamour shot. The back of it is reminiscent of G1 packaging, showing off the gimmick, what the figure can do, and even photographs of other toys that Fans Hobby makes in the same kind of way that G1 toys would be displayed, which is kind of a nice touch. So, yeah, it's a very nice box. Very nice box. But let's get it open and see what the toy inside is like. Okay, so here is what Minerva Athena looks like straight out of the box. You get a pretty nice car. Very nice. On the underside, you can see it's a Transformer, but nothing too particularly obtrusive. And I kind of like the fact that the mirrors are articulated, like they fold up to the sides, like that way when it's parked you make sure that a car doesn't pass too close and take your mirror off. That happened to my mom's car once. So yeah, it's kind of a nifty thing. You may notice it looks kind of blank. Why is it so blank? Well, that's because there's some homework to do. Got a sticker sheet. So you have a whole bunch of stickers that you have to apply in order to make the car look more accurate. This might be a way to skirt copyright, like, hey, we're not completely knocking off your design. See, it's just a blank car. There's nothing in the paintwork. But if someone decides that they want to apply these stickers, then, well, we can't really help that, can we? She also comes with a very nice little trading card. It says Athena, very nice picture of her. And on the back you have her stats, strength, wisdom, speed, courage, and, you know, everything's always kind of high. Although, you know, like, strength seems like her lowest stat, but, you know, that's still quite a long arrow. And she has a very large instruction sheet. Let's pull back. Yeah, it's like a big-ass poster-sized sheet of paper. Which involve her transformation instructions and the application for the stickers. So that's kind of a thing that's going on here. Alright. So, oops. So, there's also a baggie that comes with her Headmaster. So, let's get the Headmaster out and also apply the sticker sheets to the car. Then we'll continue the review. Okay, so I applied the stickers. It's you get the crosses on the doors and on the hood. along with the license plates, ATH MB12. Don't judge me if they're a little bit crooked. It's really hard to line these things up. So yeah, we got stickers. There's still a few stickers to apply to her robot mode, but we'll get to that later. It turns out that her transformation involves part forming off the roof, and once I got that roof popped off, it was really hard to get all the panels to line up to get it back on, so I figured I should shoot this part of the video before I went any further. So yeah, that's what the car mode looks like, all properly stickered up. And it rolls decently well, but I feel like you gotta be careful about having everything lined up, because some of her robot-y bits are really low and they come almost as low as the wheels. The wheels themselves actually feel rubberized. I don't know if those are actual rubber tires, but they do feel soft. So it's either a soft rubber quality plastic or the wheels are actually rubber. And oop, a faceplate came out. That's part of the Headmaster. We'll take a look at it. Well, we'll take a look at it now. Getting the roof popped off is easy. You pop off the spoiler, and that causes everything to come unseated, and you can easily take it off. You can see the Headmaster, and it has a little cockpit chair, and a couple more of the stickers which were applied. There's this one, and then a couple there that look like hydraulic bits. Oh, and the mirrors, they rotate this way. They also rotate that way. Just a heads up. Probably more for sitting the proper way during transformation than anything else. I guess now's a good time to take a look at her little Headmaster. Let's get the faceplate back on there. Oh, did I just... Yeah, I kind of... There we go. Yay! So this is the little Headmaster. It's a small little figure. Let's get a zoom in. Yeah, that looks about right. For context's sake, here is a Titan Master. It is just about head and shoulders taller than a Titan Master, and it has much better articulation. There is a head swivel, although if this works the same way that Titan Masters do, this is probably also the figure's head swivel, so it's a little tiny ball joint. There seem to be ball jointed shoulders that can get about that much outward range, so, you know, better than a Titan Master, as well as independent rotation, and they have elbow joints that can bend 90 degrees, so, you know, that's not bad. It's not like they have a super detailed sculpt in there. She doesn't have fingers, but, you know, for such a little figure, that's fine. There is an ab crunch, most likely due to the transformation, but it is welcome. And the legs don't get much outward movement. That's about as far apart as they can get from each other, but they do go all the way forward, they go all the way back, and they have knees that can go all the way in, well beyond 90 degrees. Like, look at that. Hi! That's some comic book action for you right there. So, mostly to accommodate transformation, but the little minifigure is pretty well articulated. We'll take a look at... Can I turn it into a head right here? I haven't actually looked at the instructions, so I don't really know how... I'm assuming you just kind of fold everything up like that, and... oh! Bink! Yeah, it goes... the forehead plate of the robot head attaches to the car. So, boom! Is that it? I might have to do something different with the arms, but that is the head as far as I'm able to interpret. There is an alternate faceplate. Let's get that in here real quick. Basically, it's a more stern expression. Like, we have a smiling face versus a default straight face. I think I like the smiling face better. It's cute and expressive. And I like the eyes. They are painted with this metallic blue. Looks very pretty. Alright, so I guess the only thing to do now is to take this and convert it to its robot mode. Holy crap, that transformation was harrowing. It took a really long time and was all kinds of complicated. This is absolutely not a toy for kids. To its credit, It's not fragile feeling. I never felt like any parts were clashing uncomfortably or that it was ever gonna break. It's just really complicated to do. But the robot mode, pretty freaking gorgeous if you ask me. It looks pretty sleek. Only thing I don't like is the part forming. Like I said, the roof has to come off and then it goes back on. Also, this back panel for the leg, it's held in by this one little slot peg that's right here. On the left leg, it holds in pretty good, but on the right leg, it keeps on wanting to friction itself out of place. I think maybe the peg might be a little bit too big. And like these side things are really just held in by tab friction. It's like they don't really peg too securely. But, you know, aside from that, the figure looks pretty good. It has one gimmick in this mode. You can open up her chest. Like, let me zoom in there. There we go. You can open up her chest and you can view her stats, you know, like the classic Headmaster gimmick used to do. I don't believe that it's actually tied into inserting her head, which goes into place with a pretty satisfying little snap. Oh, by the way, these things on the sides are the applied stickers, and also right above her kneecaps are 2 more stickers. So 4 stickers to apply in this mode. And I really hate that this will not stay pegged in place. It's such a minor little detail on the back of the leg, but it's annoying that it keeps coming out. Speaking of things coming out, I may as well take a look at her gun while I'm zoomed in. Actually, let's close her chest back up. Zoom in on the thigh. The guns peg into these little pegs on her thighs, and they are folded. And there is place to store them in robot mode, but you gotta take them out when you transform her. At storage place in vehicle mode, but they become the shoulder pads. So you can't store them in her shoulder pads when she's in her robot mode. So the hand can hold the gun. Wow. Actually, before we have her holding her gun, let's take a look at the articulation. Yeah, I think that would be a good logical next step here. Okay. Sorry. My fault for doing this on a chair. Okay, so we got some ball joints. Really big ball joints in the hips. Yep, she can get pretty much a good split. And, I don't... Oh, yeah, there's a thigh swivel. Yep, there's a thigh swivel. A genuine thigh swivel. So, yep, we got it. Knees, she has them. I'd say... Yeah, solid 90-degree knee. Which is good. She has nice big feet. They don't do much moving on their own. But, if it wasn't for this one stupid panel here, I would give the legs a grade A. But yeah, good legs, good dynamic legs. Kind of hard to get her standing at attention with these legs, because I always have a hard time figuring out how the knees are supposed to work. And seriously, why does it do this? I think maybe the peg is too big and it doesn't want to slot in perfectly. Might have to alter the size of that peg. Ab crunch. Look at that ab crunch. Good, solid ab crunch. Nothing wrong with that. So you can get some good crunching going. Arms. This is a transformation joint, but it should... Yeah. There is also a universal shoulder on its own, which is barely in the camera shot at this point. So let's just scroll up. So the arm can go out, especially if you move this thing out of the way for it. Got to be kind of careful, because you know if you pull the wrong way, then you're just undoing the transformation joint instead, and you don't want to do that. You want to move the actual shoulder. There is a bicep swivel, and this whole thing rotates around. Clashes a bit with her backpack. Did I not fold it right? Nope. Yeah, that's kind of a design flaw. You gotta be mindful of her backpack when you move her arm up, but it can be done. Solid double jointed elbow, mostly for transformation. Wrist can do this thing. It also rotates. Thumb is on its own swivel, so it can open. Fingers have 2 joints here and here, so you can clench it into a fist. I think that's a pretty decent fist. And let's get her second gun out. Let's fold out her other gun. Okay, so there should be a peg right there. Put the peg in, curl the fingers around. Now she's holding her gun. She looks good holding her gun. Let's put her second gun so we can have like a guns akimbo thing going on here. There we go. Yeah. Dual gun wielding action. And yeah, that's fun. And the head can rotate all around. Has a little bit of, it can look down, not much looking up, but it can look left, right. Yeah, you can do some pretty dynamic stuff with her. She makes good use of her posability. She's a super posable, articulated figure. And like I said, aside from that one stupid panel on the back of her leg, which might be just mine, your mileage may vary on that kind of thing, she has pretty much solid joints. None of her articulation joints feel loose or floppy. The only thing that feels loose and floppy is this one panel that won't stay pegged in, but everything else on her works pretty much fine. And she's a big girl too. So let's bring in a Titan's Return figure, since it's a Headmaster. She's significantly taller than a deluxe. Well, I have her. Hold on a second. Let me position something. Okay, there we go. Now that I got her standing more or less at attention, we can see her true height. As you can see, she is just a little bit shorter than Optimus Prime. This is a Voyager Optimus. Her face comes about up to his pecs, although the shoulder pylons do make her taller than him. So, you know, read into that what you will. I don't think shoulder pylons count for your height. Like, your height is defined by where your head is. So, yeah, I think that's about the size of a Masterpiece figure. Like, you know, because Masterpieces are supposed to be bigger, so with Optimus and Masterpiece would be way taller. So, you know, this is what a deluxe is to a Masterpiece Optimus, this is to a Voyager Optimus, I guess. So, taller than a regular deluxe. Masterpiece scale. That's okay. When I found Minerva up for pre-order, I found that she wasn't that expensive for a Masterpiece alike at only $50 or so, which I deemed to be a fair price. I spent more on worse Transformers, and she does look really cool. She looks just like concept art and stuff. Oh, her hips rotate. I showed off her ab crunch, but I didn't show her waist. So you can rotate her waist as well. It's not just a crunch. So she has lots of great posability. Not a very playable figure because there's a bunch of panels you have to think twice about before you... Like, you can get her set up into dynamic poses, but you got to make sure that her pylons aren't clashing and that her panels are all lined up. So she's a very posable, displayable figure, but not a very playable one, which makes sense because this is an adult collector piece, not a toy for kids. Do not give this to a child. I cannot stress enough that this is not for children. I don't know. That one loose panel is going to drive me completely insane. But aside from that, it's pretty darn awesome. If you have a Minerva-sized hole in your collection that needs filling like I did, then she will definitely fill that sweet spot. It is a beautiful toy. I would recommend it for people who are fans of female Transformers like myself. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about her. Oh, but her transformation is hell of complicated. Now that I got her into this, despite how nice her car mode actually looks, now that I got her into her robot mode, I'm not sure I want to go back because the thought of transforming it actually seems kind of scary. But, you know, like, your mileage may vary. Like, I know these things aren't supposed to be, they're supposed to look good in either mode, but the getting from one point to the other is less into consideration because they don't have to be playable toys for children. So I'm just repeating myself at this point. You know, go to fanshobby.com if you're interested. And this is Wakengel2K1 signing off.